for a Racing DP. First race on my career in the Formula Gulf 1000s, the UAE, or in the UAE, the Dubai Autodrome International. Now what I've done is I've skipped qualifying, so I'm going to start the race from the back of the grid. If you saw my first video, I did the practice session, showed a number of things on there, and I opted to start from the back of the grid because I was quicker than them in practice. Turned out I did the race a couple of times. The first time I had an almighty crash, so if you haven't seen the first video, go watch that just for the crash. And then I've been learning about the recording, the way the PS4 records and stuff like that, and the next few races didn't go so well, and I will admit I like this game, but it really frustrated me. On my first video I did say well, you may not have heard it, I don't like doing restarts of races. I like to tend to think, well, the race goes however the race goes. However, it got really frustrating because, excuse me, in the practice sessions, I could quite comfortably drive the car quite aggressively without really focusing too much and put in a semi-decent lap time. Going to the race session, and the car just handled like a bag of beep. It was horrible, and I spent ages trying to work out, okay, why has the car gone from handling quite nice to absolutely terrible? And I couldn't really work it out. Now I could have gone through playing with setups and stuff, but I did say I'm not going to do that. I'm going to act as a pick up and play person, and I'm going to stick to it. So we're going to try it again. We're just going to go for it excuse me, and see how we get on again. I apologise for my coughing, I haven't been too well, and we'll see how we get on here.
This is the first race of your career, and remember one thing: to finish first, you first have to finish.
And he's not wrong, you do have to finish, and that has been a bit of a problem for a few people I know, because the fact the cars do handle so differently in practice, qualifying and the race. I mean, it may happen in this first corner in practice and qualifying, quite comfortably get around this corner, but in the couple of races that I did after my first recording, the car's just sliding all over the place. So if the car does suddenly get all out of control, that's why. It's not that I can't drive, or at least that's what I'll go with anyway. Now, I do like the graphics on this game. It is a very pretty game, to be honest, although on this view my car may look blurry, but that's just because I'm on helmet cam. Now, I am liking the helmet cam on this game. It's probably one of the best or most usable helmet cams I've seen on a game, and it's also quite helpful. I mentioned on my first video, when the driver looks towards the corner, it's actually telling you this is your braking point. So if you haven't got racing line on or anything like that, or you're on tracks that you have never been on before, it can be quite helpful because the driver will look at the corner at the time you should be braking. Now this is a track that I've done a few laps on, not lots though. It's not one I've ever driven on any other game. And for anyone that's watching this that's wondering whether they should get this game, yes you should. It is worth every penny, even if it is a little frustrating to start off with. At the end of the day, it drives like no other game I've ever really played, and that's probably where a lot of the difficulty can come from, because you are going to have to drive it differently perhaps than what you're used to be able to get the most out of it, but that'll come with time. The menu systems are very complex. There's a lot of different things you can change, and to be honest, I haven't touched any of them really, other than designating buttons on my wheel. I'm using a Thrustmaster T300.
We've got some pressure from the guy behind. You'll need to brake as late as you can. You may need to cover the inside line.
Okay. I do like that there's an engineer that talks to you on this, even if he does interrupt your recordings. I do know that on F1 2015 they're supposed to have an engineer that talks to you on that, and you can voice activate talk with him as well, which I think will be pretty cool. You'll probably do the same on here, but like I say, I've not really looked into any of the menus in depth or anything like that. As I say, I'm treating it a lot like a pick up and play, because a lot of people are like that. They just want to buy a game, pick it up, play it, and be competitive. The problem with that is you can't really be competitive in a pick up and play situation, because to get the most out of the cars, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to play about with the setup of the car. But what I have noticed is, unlike some games, the stock setup on the cars don't seem to be too bad. They do have cambers on them already, and things like that. So
try to get a good run from the last corner, slipstream past him on the straight.
I'll do my best. I've got to catch him up a bit more first, which I've done in the braking zone, but I'm slow now onto this straight. Seeing as we're on the last lap, I'm going to have to be really close to get past him into the out of the last corner. Oh, he's had a moment though. Can we do anything about it? I'd say no by the looks of it. I could try and dive bomb him here, but I know from the few laps that I've done around here, the drivers do like to turn in. A few people are not going to like the AI on this car, on this game. They'll see them as being quite aggressive. I just see them as being racing drivers, defending their lines, turning in when they think they've got the corner. At the end of the day, if you put your car in a position it should not be in, there's a good chance they're going to crash into you.
Okay, mate, let's see if we can get him on this lap. Try to force an error. He's under big pressure now. Come on, you can take him.
Now, have we got him? I can't see him. Yes, we're ahead, so we've taken a place. Okay, most of my overtakes were done under the start, but you know what, I don't mind that. I'm happy with that. And to be honest, the car actually drove then completely differently to how it drove in excuse me, my first few races. Completely differently. I mean, I was not out of control at any point in that race, whereas in the race from my first video, the car was all over the place. So I don't know whether I'm just a bit calmer, driving a bit better or what, but there was definitely a difference in how the car was handling.
Green, green, green.
How you drive the cars is going to make a big difference. I don't think this is just a sort of front into the corners and thrash it round the track type of game, unless you're in certain cars that allow you to do that. Oh, see, I've gone too aggressive there and end up causing a crash. I don't think, I mean, okay, yeah, be aggressive, but if you're over aggressive, I think it's actually going to punish you rather than benefit you. And I think that's right in a way. I mean, you take someone like Lewis Hamilton, for example, and yes, he drives aggressively, but not recklessly. Now, obviously, we are in race 2 of 2 now. We started in 10th place. And we're already up to 4th, so we'll have to see if we can push on to get onto the podium here. We've got first, second and third ahead, and second and third are getting a little bit feisty. There's definitely so much more grip in this race than what I was having when I was trying to do the recordings earlier on. The difference is, it's unbelievable, to be honest. I mean, the car was completely undrivable, but like I say, that could be down to how I'm trying to drive the car, much calmer, less aggressive on the throttle, or it could just be that I've missed something and I've done something wrong in the earlier attempted recordings. Now, I've taken this car around Donington for a fair few laps, and I love it around that track, and the difference around there compared to around here in the first races was tenfold. But to be honest, the way the car's handling at the moment is handling like it was when I was driving around Donington. There's confidence in the grip of the car, which means I'm going to spin at any moment. Oh, you sneaky bugger. Oh, okay, let's... if I have to go down to second, it could get slidey. We're going to be slow because of the line down this straight, but let's see if we can use some slipstream. Oh, a little slide there.
Try and stop this guy getting underneath you. Cover that inside line.
I'm not going to cover the inside line. I need the racing line to be able to catch the car ahead. If I cover the inside line, I'm going to be slow. And don't get me wrong, engineer, I understand what you're saying, but the car was too far back to attack. Got a good exit there. Hopefully a bit of slipstream will allow me to close up. Perhaps have a look at going through into turn one. But I'm going to be slow around
Well
the
done,
corner.
that's second place. Keep digging.
He's going to duck up the inside of me. He's trying. That's going to put me offline for this corner. Move done though, he's ran wide. So up into second place then on the final lap. I can't believe the difference of how the car's handling from the earlier recordings. If I actually showed you them, you'd think I have no idea how to drive, whereas this is handling so much nicer. These are nice cars to drive, which is why it was frustrating me in the early recordings I was doing, that it was just sliding all over the place and I was not used to it. And like I say, I didn't play about with the settings or anything like that at that time or this time, so I have no idea what happened there. But anyway, we lost a bit of time on the leader, seeing as I was talking there. But yeah, I do like these cars. I mean, I like pretty much every car I've been in. Some of them are very, very tricky to drive. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. I mean, even the tricky ones, I think once you work out how the car needs to be driven, they'll come into their own, or even work on setups and so on to get the most out of them. But I'm very happy with how that went there, from 20th to 10th in the first race, and then from 10th to 2nd in the second race. I'm fairly happy with that. It means I'm probably not going to have won the championship in that one, but I came second. Oh no, that's the race result. So championship result, let's see. I got bonus points in race 2 for fastest lap. I like that you get that as well. And when I finished 5th in the standings, not bad considering, like I say, I started from the back of the grid in race 1. So there we go, there's round 1 of the career mode, or round 1 for me because I started in the Formula Gulfs. So I will do a new video of what comes next. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know I